Uh, just going further on my experiment. Something interesting happened today while I was messing around. I was working on making a little bit of a jewel thief circuit for this, and I was just playing around with it. Haven't done anything really big yet with it, but I ran into an interesting situation. As I was in between my experiment, and I'll show you what the phenomenon is that's happening when you're experimenting. A lot of this stuff happens. I mean, strange things will happen when you're experimenting and messing with circuits and doing stuff like that. Strange things happen, and they're learning experiences. And maybe some of you guys out there can give me an explanation of why this is happening. The way I see it, maybe it's because something's not properly grounded in the house, or but this is some of the stuff that we have to be careful with, because a lot of times it'll give us false readings, or cause our experiments not to come out, get a certain result that we're not really getting. And I have run into this before, like capacitors that seem to be charging themselves and stuff like that. And they're picking up frequencies, like electrical frequencies in the house. This kind of stuff happens, okay? And that's one of the things that makes a lot of people really leery about anybody that's messing around with this kind of stuff, to as far as what their results are in their experiments. It's kind of tricky. Because in today's world, we got a lot of frequencies going on. We got all the houses are wired electrically, and that all has a lot to do with the way things happen. So there takes a lot of testing to make sure that what you're doing is, or what I'm doing, for example, in my experience, is that I'm not picking up some outside energy that's not energy that I'm producing. But yeah, I did run into an interesting situation like that shortly. Now, of course, you can see my the scalar system, the plasma ball system here, is putting out quite a bit of energy, and it has nothing to do with any outside source other than the 5 volt 300 milliamps that are coming into it, and that's what you're seeing here. The interesting part is when you turn off the experiment, I noticed there was some kind of a little like a little bit of a wave in there, and of course I have this thing set to 10 kilovolts. So I brought it down to about 200 volts, and well, I'll show you what happens, and then I'll show you what part of the cause of it was, and how things like this can make a difference. By the way, folks, if you're working on something like this, be very careful. As I was in the middle of that happening, okay, I realized I had this capacitor on the floor, and that had fallen on a previous experiment or something I was doing earlier, and it had been there for days, and I didn't notice it. And I just noticed it. So I went and I picked it up, and I said, oh, let me try this over here. And I was kind of messing with it with a wire. And bang, the thing just snapped. And I'm kind of glad I didn't actually short it with my hand, because I had my butt on the ground. But you got to be careful with this kind of stuff when you're messing with it, because you never know when you're going to capacitors and stuff like that. That was an electrolytic capacitor, and those suckers, they tend to charge themselves. Sometimes I'm running all these frequencies and things in the room. You don't know if your capacitors are charging, so you want to make sure you ground them out before you try to grab them, because or keep them grounded if you can, or something like that, because when you're messing with stuff like this, capacitors will get you. Capacitors have gotten me a lot of times, because they get you when you least expect it, so you have to be very careful. And they can hurt you if they're high enough. I mean, I wouldn't want to get hit by that 2 kilovolt capacitor that goes on a Tesla coil. I would not want to get hit by that. I've gotten hit by something like, I think the most I've gotten hit by was like a 250 volt one, and believe me, I don't ever want to do that again. So anyways, let me show you real quick what happened. So I'm saying, okay, what is that? What it's picking up some kind of frequency or something. So I'm at 10 kilovolts over here, and I bring it up to well, that's interesting. I tried to duplicate the experiment, and it's different. It's not picking it up this time. That is interesting. What did I do different? Okay, well, we got something else. Something else is happening. Nothing. But it did happen. I'm going to try to replicate this experiment and I'll be back. Interesting. And now it's making me more curious. All right. Okay, so I figured it out. I'm just touching the wrong buttons here. Let me bring this camera closer and see if I can get a good picture of the oscilloscope. I'm going to try to see if I can amplify it there. There we go. And now, basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring the voltage. Let me see. I'm running the wrong thing. I'm doing the wrong thing. I'm doing the wrong thing. Where am I here? This is where I'm supposed to go. Okay, that's it. Bring it up here. And as you can see, I'm getting, I don't know, several hundred volts. And watch this. It is running at it's running at 60 hertz. So I'm saying, okay, what am I picking up in the room that's causing this thing to go at 60 hertz? Well, I went and started unplugging things all over the room. Finally, I unplugged the electrical strip on the table, and I'm going to do that right now. Watch what happens. Now, it still pick up a signal after that, but as you notice, the voltage went down. But it's still picking up something else at 60 hertz. And let's bring it down here so that I can see. That still looks like 60 hertz. Yep, and there it is. It's still picking a signal at 60 hertz. And it's at 200 volts per division. So it's picking up quite a charge from that, which is interesting. I must have created some kind of an antenna or something that's an electrical radio that's picking up the electrical wires in the house and the wiring in the house, and it's just picking up some of that. And but I got another idea, wireless power. Wouldn't that be a good idea if we managed to use something like this to like run small electronics and stuff like that in the house, just simply by placing them near the walls where your electrical outlets are or whatever. I don't know. It's just an idea, something I'll probably play with another time since I'm doing something else right now. But that's an interesting thing to note. So, and maybe somebody can explain to me why this is happening. Maybe my wires are crossing here and it's just picking it up on the circuit. That's a possibility. But it's amazing with this electrical strip that this electrical strip will actually cause, and it's not even the light. I mean, I can turn the light off. You know, I haven't tried that. Maybe it's one of these transformers down here. Let me try that. Let's try those transformers on there. I just disconnected it. Alright, let's hook this back up here. There we go. I keep making this thing fall apart. Alright, let me try to get down here and take one of these out. Well, that made a difference. It did impact it some. That was the light transformer on the light. Let me try this other transformer over here. And that didn't make any difference. Let me try the USB. Well, that made a difference. Seems like that thing really makes some noise. Okay. So you see, when you have strips and things like that that have multiple things hooked up to them, and you have transformers and stuff like that, a lot of times you get, they do leak. They do leak out 60 hertz. It's just amazing to me that there's that much voltage, because that's just a 110 electrical outlet, 120 at the most, and here we got, we probably got about more than 200 volts. I mean, like 400 volts, 500 volts, maybe more than that. That's amazing, man. So I'm just tinkering around. Just thought I'd throw that out there to you guys, and maybe somebody can give me some comments on this, and maybe give me some suggestions of what's going on. What could cause a problem like this? I know probably the leaky transformers and stuff like that. I'm just wondering why I'm getting so much, like it looks like I have so much power coming out of it. And I'm afraid to find out if I am, because I hate to put my hand in the wrong place and actually get that kind of voltage at 60 hertz. That would hurt me. So anyways, thank you for watching. Comments welcome.